Hey everyone, welcome back to Rising Stronger. I'm going to change this. I forgot to do that. Today I have a really special guest with me. Her name is Jenn, and she is one of the amazing women and buffaloes that I got to meet when I went on that retreat. And Jenn, um, I've always said everyone that comes on here, they're a special guest, but I'm extra excited to have Jenn come on because not only did we go to the retreat together, but she's become one of my very dear friends, and we've gotten to be a witness to each other's lives, and I've gotten to see her really step into becoming that true buffalo and rising stronger. So we thought it would be good to have her on. So hey, Jenn.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. Lisa, you're just an amazing person, human, therapist. You just show up as you are. You show up boundaried, you show up honest. You have given so many of us at the retreat just nuggets of wisdom and just allowing us to see you as a human and also as a therapist. So I'm just really honored to be here just to share just kind of my insights of just maybe some perspectives from my life that might help other
Yeah.
people and just to kind of tell my story and my truth. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to share a little bit about your story, or do you want me to
Yeah, I
start?
can. I can. I've been married twice and I'm going through my second divorce, and that's really hard to say. That's something I'm still working on. Um, but nobody goes into a marriage ever thinking that you're going to get a divorce, right? You go into a marriage thinking that it's forever. And a lot of times it's not. I mean, statistics are just growing and growing, and it's more difficult. And for me, I respect monogamy. I know that other people in their relationships, they have different parameters, different agreements. But for me, my parameters are monogamy is very important to my truth. And unfortunately, in my first marriage, there was infidelity. So that ended. And in the process, I was left homeless. So I had to rise up and start my life over and financially, emotionally, spiritually. And I swore I would never get married again. But then I did meet someone and just fell in love with this person. And still, just the person that I fell in love with, man, that was my dream person. And unfortunately, that marriage was wrapped in addiction and betrayal. And so I went through a process with both of betrayal trauma. And betrayal trauma is not only from like your specific partner or person, but it can be from like a parent or a friend or sibling. But for me, in my case, my betrayal trauma came through my relationships, and it's been a very difficult process to navigate because, again, no one expects to go into any relationship wishing for any sort of trauma, but we all have to deal with different things in our lives. But trauma, I'm sure you understand as a therapist, you've probably navigated this quite a bit with other people,
Hmm.
right?
So prior to the retreat, what did that look like in your life?
Betrayal trauma is huge. It's massive. Like it really is. And I even wrote some notes. Like for me, it just weighed me down. It shut me down spiritually, emotionally, physically. I gained 40 pounds. It impacted my spirit, my soul, my mind. I didn't know what was real. I didn't know. I felt like I was in a car crash, right?
Mhm.
And I kept getting in the car because the trauma and the betrayal didn't end. And there are some people that are wonderful and that work on it, tremendously. In my case, that wasn't the case, but so I was constantly getting in that car and being crashed, like in this
Right.
car crash over and over and over. But the thing is, nobody could see the bumps and the bruises and the blood, and it was all emotional trauma. And when you're in that state, your brain really just hijacks and starts going into a fight or flight or freeze. And, my fight or flight was, is this really happening? What's going on? What's real? Is my life what is my life? Who is this person? Who am I? Do I stay? Do I go? Am I financially sound? Is this going to work out?
Mhm.
That's my fight. My then it the sorry, that was my flight. No, sorry, fight, fight, or freeze. So my fight was then I'm going to fight for this marriage. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be the one that's going to put together all of the resources and find out all of the knowledge and find out everything so that I can cure this person and make sure that they choose me.
Mhm.
But what I realize now after the fact is that they have to choose that for themselves.
Mhm.
And that's been the hardest thing for me because I was I really was a very independent and secure person before my relationships, but the trauma forced me into a codependent relationship where I started becoming codependent, needing that reassurance, needing that affirmation because I was so heartbroken and I couldn't look in the mirror. I
Right.
couldn't look in the mirror. I couldn't face myself. I couldn't I didn't like myself anymore. I was so sad. I even, coped to use like alcohol, some wine at night, just to kind of numb out some nights, wasn't a great choice. But I just didn't want to face what was real
Mhm.
and that I couldn't really make these decisions for someone else. And so that was a hijack of my life, right? And I was in protective and guard mode and trying to fix it mode and learn everything that I could. But the one thing that changed me was going to the retreat.
Mhm.
If anyone, I needed something and I found a retreat. And so I will tell you, it was expensive for me. But it has been worth every single
Yeah.
penny. Um, because something in my brain had to shift it because my brain was just stuck in this
Mhm.
cycle and nothing was changing in my marriage. And so I had to have something shift and jolt me out of, um, I guess, the betrayal trauma impact.
Yeah.
And so the retreat helped
I
tremendously.
I don't know if I've shared this on here yet, but I have learned that they say the betrayal trauma, that level of trauma is equivalent to a war veteran's level of
Oh, wow.
trauma. That's how,
Like,
because it does, it rocks your world on every level. And it just takes that rug right out from under you and it shakes you to the core spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, like
wow.
every relationally, like so many different ways. It's a deep, deep trauma. Um, and the thing with the retreat that I loved was, this retreat wasn't intended for going there to fix a marriage.
Right.
It wasn't so that you can like repair your marriage and move on. It wasn't to break up a marriage. It really, ironically, a lot of the women there were there for betrayal trauma, but it was very little about the betrayal itself. It was just all
Right.
about like they call it like that hero's journey to like
Right.
discovering themselves. And for me, Jen was actually one of the ones that I got the special treat of riding in the shuttle with. And so we got to know each other from the before all the way to the very end. And I'm not going to share anything because I feel like that when we did that mirror exercise, that was a sacred space. But I will say, I got to be the witness to Jen coming alive again. Like that was the moment I saw her make vows to herself. She was like, I need to come back to me, to my girl. And I saw that in you. And immediately after that exercise, you were a different person. Like you were already pretty amazing, But Jen was like, I didn't even know that Jen, but I just felt from you like Jen was back, and you've been doing that ever since.
Yeah, that was my moment, and I'm happy to share the moment because it's such a pivotal moment for me. And there was an exercise where we had to, talk to ourselves in the mirror, and I went there terrified, and I just started basically screaming at myself to rise up, just to
Yeah.
and to rise and to stop this. And I talked to the little girl in a part in me, and I said, "What are you doing? You have got to, this isn't who you are. You've got to change. Like, who you are." And I think that's such a focus because when you've been betrayed, if you don't know who you are and you don't know your core beliefs and what you will agree to, what you won't agree to in any relationship, right? What are your boundaries? If you don't know those, that's the first place that you need to
Right.
start when it comes to healing. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't know what your truths are, and literally when I was standing in the mirror, my truths just kind of poof, they came back. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh my gosh. And then it just released. And then it just was like, I don't know, it's like this hard shell just cracked.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can think of it. And it's like I came out and I blossomed again. And I literally just started laughing and joy. And I just had the greatest rest of the retreat. It just freed me
Hmm.
from this bondage of something that I never chose for myself, right? And I
Right.
wasn't choosing for myself, and I didn't want to choose for myself, and I didn't want it to exist in my life anymore. And I wanted there to be healing, whether it was my decision or not. I had to heal for me. And so then I needed to make new decisions. And I've learned through a lot of trauma research that actually women are more traumatized than men by 2.6%. Like our brains are traumatized differently. We have a different brain matter. And so, but that moment just really shifted my life, my brain, and put me in a new direction. I
Mm.
unfortunately did have to go through, or I am going through the divorce process now, but I will say it is the best decision for me based on my truths. And coming back to that, um, I had to face what I was willing to give up, what I was willing to live with, what I was willing to say, I can do this, I can't do this.
Mhm.
And I have chosen myself. It's not an easy process. There's a lot of hard work. But that hero's journey that you're talking about, is something that I'm committed to, and I'm thrilled. Uh, it's giving me so much joy and so much freedom, and by going into those dark spaces, by going into those dark places, and now just making new decisions
Can
on my
you
truth.
can you share that quote about the cave?
Oh yeah, so that's the quote from, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, but for me, it's the cave that you enter holds the answers that you seek. Isn't that
Yeah.
it? Or is
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that that's it. Yeah.
So I believe something like that. But here's the thing, it is so true because when you go into a cave or in a dark space or you're falling off a cliff, you don't know what's in there. Like, right.
Hmm.
You don't know what's in there. It's dark, but eventually your vision changes, right? And when
Hmm.
you're in the dark space and you can start seeing things and maneuver your way through it. And then eventually you kind of can see the light somewhere,
Hmm.
and I will say that that has been my process because there's so many fearful things. I was so terrified going in, but then my vision changed and then things became a little bit more palatable. And then I was like, oh, like, okay, there's that. And and then I realized, oh, I got to get out of here with a different set of eyes, a new
Yeah.
pair of glasses, right?
And that's the thing that was like Jen is like still kind of in the cave a little bit. Like you're
Absolutely.
not fully out. And
No,
look at
no.
and just look at her, everybody. Like she's thriving in so many ways. And that was the coolest thing to be a witness to after the retreat was like you didn't know what was ahead. You didn't know what the outcome was going to be or where you were going to go or how things would work out. And you just like took that leap of faith and again just chose yourself and your truths. And it just made me so incredibly proud of you. And I've been seeing
Thank you.
her, we stay in touch pretty regularly and just choosing yourself day after day, even when you're in the thick of it. It's so hard. And yet, like, what have you been doing? Like, what is choosing you?
Well, I've been crying a lot,
Mhm.
and that's fine. And
Yep.
just leaning into that, into those sad
Feeling the
moments,
feelings.
feeling the feelings. I've been scared
Mm-hmm.
and feeling the fear. There's nights I feel lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And just sometimes I can handle it, sometimes I can't. I go call friends.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. There's some nights I just am like, I don't want to be lonely. So I call my friends and I go with them and I laugh and I have a great time. But there's other times I do face it and just get curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say this is wrong, this is bad, even though it feels a certain way inside my body. I just kind of get curious about it and just kind of say, okay, this is what this feels like. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not
then
not
there
letting
are
you go
day,
running
right,
like you
right.
had
Because like you
been.
said, I'm still in that cave. I'm still coming out. I still have, that loss of that organic family, of that, of what I worked so hard for, what I dreamed about, what I loved, and I can't have that anymore. So now I have to create this new version and this new life. And so I have been going to therapy, very important. I have been seeing a
Mm-hmm.
therapist. I've been doing EDMR,
EMD.
very important. What EMDR? Sorry,
EMD.
EDMR. I don't know what EMDR. I don't know. Whatever, but it works. It's great.
Yes.
It works. It's wonderful. Yes, I'm not a therapist. I have been talking with friends, just about the people that are safe. They let me just kind of say things over and over. Like if you need to say it 3 or 4 times, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working out every single day, whether I feel like it or not. And there's so many days I don't feel like it, but I just do it anyway because I know it's going to help my mental space. You have sent me some tremendous resources, just positive mind shift, thinking, listening to positive things,
Mm-hmm.
meditation. I have been doing a vagus nerve stimulator that has been helping reset the nervous system
Mm-hmm.
and the fight, flight, and freeze. So that helps with that. Um, and cold plunging. I've done cold plunging. But I'm investing in myself and I'm learning. I'm listening to podcasts like this. I listen. So when I drive, I listen to a lot of important things, help healing words, healing platforms. I don't watch a lot of the news. I just can't. I just try to kind
Mm-hmm.
of social media. I am putting it out there. Me every day. I'm winning the day, whether I feel like it or not, because that's my accountability. I'm not doing it to show off, but
Mm-hmm.
I am. I will tell you the support though with people saying "way to go," it keeps me going. So
Mm-hmm.
it's for me. I'm looking at it as a positive thing. Like this is encouraging me, and if it encourages somebody else, great. So that's something else I'm doing just to kind of show up and just be like, yeah, I'm doing this. So, and I'm doing crazy things like I'm singing in the car, I'm
Which
recording it,
you have,
and I
I
posted it, which I never did. I've been singing
good
for 20
that you
years.
did.
It's
Beautiful
just
voice.
funny. But yeah, I'm just taking chances. I'm just kind of like diving in.
Yeah.
I'm just diving in. I'm just diving in the healing work. And again, whether I feel like it or not, because there's so many
Mm-hmm.
days and there's so many moments still. I'm so sad. I get angry. I frustrated. My anger level has come way down because in betrayal trauma, like I was getting angry all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I will say I have a lot, I have so much more peace, but still the sadness again, all of those
Yeah.
parts like an inside out, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of acknowledging each one of those parts and I'm writing again. I love writing. I'm journaling. So I think I'm doing all the good
Oh,
the
you're
right
doing
things. They're working
amazing
for
things.
me. They're working for
Yeah.
me.
Well, I have a friend that listens and, I talk about the dailies and the daily charge that we learned about. And she was like, that sounds great in theory, but like what keeps you going? And I said, for me, it just like every other human, pain.
Yeah.
I go back and I remember the days when I didn't do that. And in the absence of creating the most intentional life and just you saw the before and after
Mhm.
and even though some days it is hard to get it done or we don't feel motivated, like you and I know, like those dailies and that
Mhm.
intention like creates such a meaningful, purposeful life.
Right. And, just going to the gym, it's like, gosh, you hate going. The hardest part is getting there. The hardest part is going.
Hmm.
And then always when you're done, you're like, oh, I should do this more,
Hmm.
you know, and do the dailies more. But like what you're saying, it's so true. Like the um, pain is not bad. Pain is necessary in order to move forward, but to live in it is so oppressive. And
Yes.
it changes who you are and who your true core is. And this is my life, my tree of life that we,
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah,
We're a
we have our tree.
retreat.
So this is a tree, and like the roots, like we were talking about, like at the retreat, like the roots of the core of who you are. It's like the trauma, it kind of changes those roots and those branches. And so now I just want to just put all the good things, all of the positive things back into the soil to regrow. And again, it's a process. It's just a process,
Hmm.
right?
And one thing, I went to the retreat. I, I'm very blessed. Like I have a full life and I have amazing friendships and, try to live a life of
Mhm.
intention. And I went into it to do that deeper dive. And I was like, I don't know if I have, like, I wasn't looking to find friendship necessarily, but I had a feeling I'd connect with one or two. But the thing that's so cool is like I walked away with an amazing tribe of beautiful buffaloes. And I'm so excited because I hope and pray that we'll stay good friends forever. And
Absolutely.
and I feel like I get to see you just at the beginning. I can't wait to see Jen in 5 years, 10 years. We're gonna be like kicking ass.
I know,
We already
right?
are. We already
We
are.
already are. We
Yeah.
already are, right? It's so true. It's such, and I love, she taught me about the buffalo. And I'm just fascinated by buffaloes now. Everywhere I say, I'm like, yes, buffalo. And I love what you say, it's just go into the storm, but be boundaried. And that's something I'm learning as well. I'm
Mhm.
learning how to accept, yes, I've been divorced twice. Okay. That's hard to say out loud. It's like, it's so much shame, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna be boundaried around that and just, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have grace with myself and but I'm just going to be so true to myself that I'm going to be able to face those storms and just go in and head on and just go for it.
Yeah,
Everything, life, just go for it,
you
right?
are a true buffalo.
Well, I
From
learned to be one. Thank you so much for teaching me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming on. And I hope, please share this with all your people. And if anybody is watching or listening and they're inspired, as they absolutely will be by you, I hope that they share this and I hope they hear your story and just feel like hopeful that, no matter where we are, because you know, you were carrying a heavy, heavy load when you
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah.
And just the things that you do daily that I was like, good Lord, how does this girl get up and do? And you do. And to see what you've done already and what I know you'll continue to do, like Jen is a true inspiration to me, and I'm sure to others. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks. There's one last thing I'll say is that no matter where I go, I'll always be. And
Mm.
I think if anyone can take that into their heart and look in the mirror and say, wherever I go, I'm always going to be there. So if this is the truest, most purest relationship I'm going to have in my entire life is the one with myself, then I need to invest, right?
So true. So true.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I
Thanks for
appreciate it.
coming. Bye,
All right.
everybody.